Um, I tried to make friends with one of the shiners. I tried to make friends with Simcast, and once again, she has turned on me, and now she, I guess, doesn't talk to me anymore, which is fine. Um, and no, I don't care if I look bad. I don't care anything about that. But I have noticed something over there, and y'all were right about Simcast that she would turn on me and eventually, not be loyal.
So a lot of my subs who knew about my friendship with Justin wouldn't be surprised to know that he's tried several tactics to regain my attention since I severely reduced contact with him. I didn't cut him off completely. A lot of people wanted me to block him. I'm not going to block him. He's welcome to come to my channel anytime, and he does every day anyway. He can leave a comment. I'm not always going to respond, but he can come to my channel. So he's used several tactics to regain my attention. And one of the things that he likes to do is say shocking things about me, some of which are true, some of which are very untrue. And he always likes to pretend that he's morally superior. He's done it to demean me, to hurt me. Saying that I'm a catfish is one of the things that he said. The truth of the matter is that I genuinely liked Justin and I was invested in him to a point. And if I was going to catfish somebody, I'm sorry, but I would choose somebody who has a lot of money. I wouldn't choose somebody who sits in their car taking super chats and saving money to buy a laptop. Just wouldn't happen. I liked him for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health. And he had me in the palm of his hand, but his ego is never fed. He still had to go after Frankie in a very, very demeaning way and lump me in with all this demeaning stuff as well to make him himself feel superior. There's lots of great things about Justin, but unfortunately, his extreme behavior and his need to say shocking things for shock value, to gain attention, to feed his ego, to boost his ego, to get narcissistic supply or whatever you want to call it. He goes to the extreme, and I just could not abide by what he was saying about Frankie and fertility and all that. You don't say those things about somebody that you don't know. There was just no need for it. He had me in the palm of his hand. Justin had me in the palm of his hand. We were getting along fine, but that still wasn't good enough for him. I hurt him a lot by cutting contact with him. A lot. And the things that he said about me since, the demeaning things, he said it to hurt me back and to offend me and all that kind of stuff. And I kind of just understand that this is how he is, and I accept him how he is. He's always going to say things that are offensive, whether it's about me or anybody else, and I accept it. This is the type of person that he is. And I will always care about him, but my problem with Justin is that he doesn't seem to have a filter. He's quite manipulative. He's very hypocritical. He acts as if he's morally superior. And I think he's admitted to being a hypocrite to a certain extent. And he said things that are simply not true. But I'm not going to go into the what and the when and the why. I just can't be bothered to do that. I kind of moved on in a lot of ways. I've left the door open slightly for Justin. It's slightly ajar. I've had many subs. Many of my subs don't like him. I mean, they really don't like him. And warned me about him. And I kind of lost so many female friends over him. But I've left the door slightly ajar for Justin. He's not blocked from my channel. He can write a comment on my channel anytime he wants to. I'm not always going to respond. And I know that hurts him. And I know that a lot of what you see with him, the way he talks and everything is, a lot of bravado to hide the fact that he's hurting or that he feels offended by me ignoring him. He claims that I stabbed him in the back. I did not. I wished him well in his marriage. I wished him well with his family. I decided to cut off contact when he continued to go after Frankie Jr. in a very derogatory way. And he just went too far. He went too far with the manhood comments, the fertility comments, and it was all, Justin did this all to make himself feel superior, but he also did it to really, he knew Frankie was hurt, and he did it to stick the knife in a little bit further, if you know what I mean, as a figure of speech, not literally. And to me, Justin just simply doesn't know when to stop. He doesn't have a filter. And he goes on and on and on, and he will say the most extreme things to get a reaction. And somebody like that, somebody who has to go to such extreme lengths to get narcissistic supply, or whatever you want to call it, is somebody that you have to disassociate yourself from, in my opinion. We in society understand that there's things, even if you think them, you keep them to yourself, or you just don't say. Going after Frankie in the way he did was inappropriate. It was wrong. It was unfair. And to drag me into it, to demean me as well, and to make himself feel superior, and to, there's an issue. There is just an issue with Frankie. He just has an issue with him. I just didn't take it. I didn't take it too well, and that's why I ultimately felt like I had to cut contact. But I never stabbed Justin in the back. If anything, it was Frankie that I stabbed in the back. If anything, and I'll talk about Frankie at another time. I care about Justin, but he does not have a filter, and he doesn't know when to stop. Whatever I say here is not going to go down well with him. Justin wants access to me. He wants to be able to speak to me whenever he wants. And I have reduced that access. So he's not going to be happy with anything that I have to say. And, one of my subs who I had a falling out with before my eyes, she really didn't like Justin. And she said, he's shown you who he is once. Believe him the first time. You know that saying? When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. And I gave him chance after chance after chance. I'm sad that this has happened and that I've had to reduce contact with him. I'm sad that he doesn't have a filter and that he is very insensitive to people's feelings, and very insensitive towards ours, and very insensitive towards Frankie Jr. Just because I liked him doesn't mean that I condone what he was doing and saying with regard to the R family, with regard to SW, and with regard to Frankie Jr. I've hurt Frankie Jr. by befriending Justin in the first place, and regardless of whether I reduce contact with Justin, Frankie is still going to be hurt. And Frankie has he left a comment and made his feelings known about my friendship with Justin a while ago. I won't read it. There might come a time when I do read it to you all, to my subs, tell you what he said. But he voiced his displeasure. He doesn't approve. He didn't approve. He was upset. He felt like it was a complete betrayal. So, I lost a lot of, support, subs, friends, by allowing him to, by allowing Justin in. And the other thing I want to say is quite a few people, including Justin, have said some not so nice things about me on their channels in various ways. And I think it backfired for a lot of those people. They thought that it was going to destroy me. Because I was seen by even one of my, my former friends, I was seen as the underdog being picked on by a certain group of people. And I think those people didn't realize that I actually have a mouth on me, and that I know how to speak up for myself, and I know how to defend myself. And the support that I did lose, I regained through other means. So I actually had a lot more support than what they thought. And I actually had, I can defend myself. I'm not somebody that people can just walk over. And I think people have discovered that through making videos about me and me reacting to those videos and speaking up for myself, realizing that I'm not the easy target that they thought that I was. And I'm very happy with that. I can defend myself. I can speak up for myself. When you come to this channel, you're going to get the truth. Okay? I'm going to tell you what's really going on, and whether you agree with it or whether you like it or not. I didn't start a channel to get into beef with other channels. I didn't start a channel to lie to anybody. I started a channel because I wanted to be real and authentic with my opinions. I didn't want to sugarcoat. And I'm not somebody that people can just walk over and take advantage of. I think a lot of people didn't realize that. They thought that I was this like nice girl, a wallflower. No, I'm not. I can defend myself and I can speak up for myself. I'm a very emotional person, but I do know how to defend myself and how to speak up for myself. And I'm glad that I've been able to do that on my channel.